Hello traders, this is Giancarlo here. Hope everybody's doing well. Could you just send me a message in the chat or send a question in the chat just so I can make sure that everybody's hearing me all right? And then once I can confirm that you guys can hear me, awesome, cool, thank you. We will get started. Thanks everybody for coming out. As always, this is going to be bi-weekly. I gotta change this, but this is every 2 weeks now, so make sure to show up. All right, let's get started. Derivatives trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All right, so today I'll just be going over an intro to EdgeProX, an intro to EdgeClear. I'll be going over imbalances and absorption levels, basically how to find them, how to set them up, and then what are they as well. And then I'll take a Q&A from you guys. So if there's any questions along the way, or if you have questions that you want me to tackle at the end, just send them in the chat and I'll get to those right at the end. And it'll be just kind of like me live, and I'll just show you how to do how to answer the questions you got. So what is EdgeProX? It's an all-in-one solution for active traders with MBO capabilities, volume profile and TPOs, native order flow tools. It's fully functional with 300 plus studies and indicators, indicator layering native to Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, runs on Rithmic, CQG, or IQFeed. All of these features are available for the low price of $34.99 per month. What does EdgeProX offer? So to be more specific, it's got a heat map, volume imprint, volume profile, TPO, and market profiling, advanced simulated trading, replay mode, cross instrument trading, cloud levels, EdgePro line, OHLC lines, time and sales, and then, as I said earlier, 300 plus indicators. What is EdgeClear? EdgeClear is an independent futures brokerage created by traders for traders. We are an award-winning team, multiple clearing relationships with Dorman, Phillip, and Ironbeam. We have an experienced team, and the founder is, I'm sure as everybody knows, Futures Trader 71. We're continuously innovating and building, and we're trader inspired. So to go forward, imbalances and absorption levels. So basically what I'll be doing is showing you how to get these levels on your volume imprint. So if we just delete this, starting from scratch here, if you press Control T, it'll take you to the All Studies tab. If you type in the volume imprint, hit OK, it's going to take you to this screen here. Now, if I hit create, it's not going to show the profile how it originally was or how it does when you first launch the platform. What you need to do to fix this is go into all settings, go over to profile, or actually head over to options. And the reason that this is not showing is because it's using the chart bar size. You want to uncheck this and go to a daily. So now it's going to change your volume imprint to show daily. So then if I hit apply, it should automatically change and update my imprint to show as a daily profile instead of a 15-minute profile. Now, the reason that it's showing in the middle of the session like this is because I am using a continuous contract. So the way to fix this is to just go over to the ESU1, which hopefully it'll fix that problem, and then we'll also shift it to the right as well. So moving this to the right can be done by going to the profile, and then instead of aligning with left, align with right, apply. Now, getting imbalances on the imprints can be done by going to the settings tab. All right, settings tab, all settings, and then you're going to go over to the imbalance and enable the imbalances that you want to see. The standards that we have them set to is 200%, 300%, and 400%. So you can either enable them all, you can enable just on the ask or just on the bid. So that's what we'll do. We'll just add one set of imbalances, and then we'll do absorption levels as well. And we'll set the absorption to be, let's say, 8 ticks. So then once you're done, you'll hit apply, update, and all right, let's go here, RTH. All right, wait for this to load. There we go. All right, so now what you'll see here is you'll see these levels appear, and what essentially absorption is showing here, this is absorption levels on both ends, is it's showing where these, so right now we had a downtrend that was happening, and then it was all the selling orders were absorbed at this level at 2275. All of these selling orders were absorbed and then were taken, and then an uptrend was created from that absorption. Well, at least from what we're viewing here. Then same on the top side is there was a bunch of buying orders coming in, and then the same had happened on the top side, both here and here. So these orders are being absorbed at those levels. And to put it more in like a definition term, it's when by a large order. So absorption comes from when a buying or selling trend is absorbed by a large order and the trend reverses in either direction, as you can see from the levels that I have there. Absorption is defined by a bid or ask imbalance that is followed by a reversal in the price by, and then by X ticks. So for my example, it's 8 ticks. So it'll create my absorption after 8 ticks in the other direction. So that is what an absorption level is. And then imbalance is similar, except it's instead of the orders being absorbed, the orders, when it hits a certain level, the imbalance is created and there's a rejection that happens pretty quickly. The absorption happens when all the selling orders are absorbed, and then the levels reject, and then it turns around and goes in the opposite direction, or opposite direction of the original trend. Imbalance is more of like, instead of hitting a wall, it bounces off the wall immediately, essentially, is the difference between imbalance and absorption levels. So that is how you would get these levels on your chart, and you'll see that they highlight on the volume profile, and you can see the orders here, and it highlights it pretty well. If there's any questions about imbalances or absorptions, just send them in the chat now, and I can touch on those. But that is how this would be done here. So hopefully that was a good explanation, and it helps explain what these do and how to do them as well. We don't see actually the imbalance on here. Let's add some more so you can maybe see what those look like. Update. All right, let's try and add these imbalances so we can see where an imbalance is versus where an absorption level is. All right, nothing there. Interesting. Well, let's try and adjust this so we can see that. Go back here. Let's turn off RTH, and let's switch this so we can actually see. For some reason, it's not showing these imbalances. It's only showing absorption levels. But nonetheless, oh, here we go. Here's an example. So here's an example of an imbalance is right here at the top. So you had an uptrend and then almost immediately turns around. So there was no pause in the trend. So the absorption, the difference between absorption and imbalances, there's no pause with imbalances. The turnaround happens pretty quickly. So here you can see that there's a pause in the trend before it turns around. Same thing with our original area here, is there was a pause that was happening before the 8 ticks turnaround. All right, so if there's questions on that, let me know. But I'm gonna move forward to the questions that we have in the chat and just kind of move forward with the questions that were submitted before as well. So somebody asked how to add volume imprints to charts. So I kind of showed that at the beginning, but I can also show here, if you delete the volume imprint, it looks like there's no data. But this is because we have it selected so that there's no bars that show up on this chart. So to get the volume imprint back, same thing, just Control T, volume, imprint, and then you want to select either ladder or bid to ask, I believe. So let's try ladder first. I believe this is the typical selection that we have. So you can do ladder and it shows the candles like so, or you can go back in, bid to ask. This is also a common one, I believe, that people use. You can mess around with this and change this to what you would like, but this is what is commonly viewed in the volume imprint section, in the order flow section. So, all right, let's go back to the questions and we'll see. Somebody asked, once a chart window is copied from a main page window, is there a way to make tabs on that window so I can tab between different time frames? So I believe what you're asking, the person that asked that question, is they're saying once you have a tab created on the bottom of the screen here, how can you tab between different time frames? So if I were to go over to an active tab, I can create sub tabs inside of this and just go and create as many as I want across the top. Now, tabbing between them quickly, I don't know how to do that. I don't know the hotkey for that. But I would assume yeah, I'm not sure how to tab between those quickly, but you can check that in the hotkeys, and maybe that's not something that we offer in the platform. But what I would do though is find a tab on the bottom and create sub tabs of the different time frames that you want, and then you can easily tab between 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minute, all the way through. Or you can go into creating a tab and then do similar to our overview page and have all your different time frames that you were looking to have. That's how I would set it up, so you can view multiple different time frames at once. Because now in here, what this allows me to do is I can make this bigger, glance around at this time or this in study, and then go back in and minimize it. So it allows for quick and efficient way, an efficient way to either look at a lot of different symbols at one time on one page, or different time frames on one page. That to me is the best way to do that, but obviously it's highly customizable to what you would like. So we'll go to the questions now in the chat. Can you build a footprint chart for a product like CL or ES? So yeah, I think I have data on that. So let's check. Let's go back here. All right. So if I were to do from scratch, creating essentially a footprint chart from scratch, what I would do is you can go over here and do how I showed, or if you want to do it similar to this, you go in, add a chart. Let's do CL U1, I think. Let's check that. Once that loads, all right, let's do this. CL. Cool. All right, so now we'll add this to the chart. Here we go. Make sure your auto sync is turned off so it doesn't scale. Now we'll add in the imprint or the footprint. So volume imprint, add it in. Now I would just toss in, what you can do is you can either do the traditional footprint chart. So let's say we wanted to see the delta, create, and then let's take it, zoom in. Oops. Now what you can do on here is you can take, and since my candles are full, it looks pretty weird. What you can do is you can take this, hollow out your candles, so right here, and then it'll allow you to see the breakdown inside the candles. That's one way to do it, or you can go into here and change it to ladder so you can see on here the breakdown of each candlestick, and then obviously you can change the time frame as well. But the person who asked me to create the imprint on CL, this is how I would do it. You can obviously change this and make this like a 5-minute. It's completely up to your prerogative and your preference. I don't believe I have data on this, so it's not going to be ticking, but this is, the historical data, and this is how it would show. Hopefully that helps, but let me know if you have any other questions about that. Is there a way to display zigzag rotation volume? Yeah, I believe there is. I believe we have a zigzag indicator. So if you just go zigzag, I'm not sure if this is what you're looking for, but this shows rotations, or the zigzag study. Not really sure how to use this. I've never really used this study in particular, but I know we have the settings in here that you can change weighted price, typical price, midpoint, etc. You can do the same thing with the high input and low input. Pretty customizable in here. But I'm not sure if I don't think it's volume weighted from what I'm looking at. It's from what it seems to be. It seems to be strictly based on price and percentage reversals or reversal ticks, not the volume, like a volume weighted change. So you could use this. We also have a zigzag oscillator, which I think it's exactly the same thing, just it'll appear on the bottom here. These are some things that I would look into, but I don't believe it's what you're looking for. This is strictly based on price. All right, is there a way to highlight in volume imprint footprint prices where the volume exceeded some set threshold at a number of contracts? Instead of changing the cell color based on volume percentage, that would not be. Hey, I believe this is what I showed. I believe the volume imprint, the imbalances or the absorptions are going to show where, well, it's not going to show where it exceeds. It'll show where a price rejects essentially a certain price. So when you're using the volume imprint, it's going to be showing where on the chart the buyers were overridden by sellers or vice versa. So if I get rid of this stuff here, and then we change this so we can actually see the profile. Cool. Now we'll go to, all right, sorry for the wait here. Let's change this back to profile, update. All right, not sure why we're not seeing the profile. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now what you're, I believe, asking is, instead of showing rejections, you want to see where price exceeds a certain threshold. I don't believe that's how. I don't believe you can place those on the volume imprint. It just looks like in the settings here we have basically imbalances, which are in a way support and resistance. But yeah, no, I don't believe that we would be able to do that. You can see the value area. That could be helpful if it exceeds a certain point in the value area. You can set alerts on that. So let's say you wanted to be alerted once it broke above this absorption. What you can do is right click, create an alert, and then now I would have been alerted at the break of this parameter here. So that's one way you can set an alert so that you can see when it breaks above or below certain levels. Left, is there a way to add a tab at the upper left or a chart, or the upper left of a chart that has been duplicated from the main chart? So I know that you can copy these at the bottom and hit OK, and then it'll basically make an exact copy or an exact replica of what you copied outside of copying over. Actually, no, yeah, it makes an exact copy. So, but putting it in the upper left corner, I don't believe. So if you're making, these are main tabs and then these are sub tabs. These are going to be separate from each other. So you can, I think, make, so you wouldn't be able to make copies of these, but you'd be able to make copies of the main tabs. So to answer that question, no, that wouldn't be possible to copy these ones. All right, next, how do you spot on a 1 minute chart? So what do you mean by spot? Can the person who asked that, you asked how do you spot on a 1 minute chart? So it would, if you know, I'm not really sure what what you're asking. I don't want to make any assumptions. What's the difference between volume profile plotted by volume imprint to the plotted by? Okay, so the difference between there really isn't much of a difference between the daily profile here and the daily profile that you grab from, let's say, volume profile. So if I were to add this to my chart, there really isn't much of a difference between the two. As you can see, like there's very slight difference in the way that the profile is created. This is more of a summary profile, however, and then the other one that I have displayed is a daily profile. So the daily profile is going to obviously break it down the price by day. This is going to break it down for however much time I have it set to. So right now it's a daily, so these should not be too far off. This is pulling RTH data, which is why there's a slight difference in the point of control. But if I extend it back, I can go and say, hey, I want to look at a week, and then it'll take and pull the data from a week, and you can kind of capture a summary versus just the daily fixture of what it is. That's the main difference between a volume profile, or what I would say is a summary profile, and the volume profile. So when you add this, you can customize that, tick interval. So if you want to add and say, every 3 ticks and make the bars wider, I like personally looking at it from a 1 tick interval. There's more stuff that you can add into here. You can change the colors of everything. You can add the value area, so you can see where the main value area is over the course of 1 week. So this is a huge value area. So right here is a value area here. So this is stuff that you can utilize for your trading. But just continuing down. Yeah, okay, so for the person that asked about the zigzag, yeah, I don't believe that it shows the volume when the reversal happens. What it shows is it shows the percent at which the from one point to the other, and that creates the reversal, I believe. But I know it's not based on volume, just for you to know that. How do you add bid and ask polling info on DOM? So looking at the DOM here, you want to know bid/ask info on the DOM. So you can add in stuff here by using so if I go over to the plus in the corner, you can add in the bid and ask count. This will combine both the ask and the bid into one tab and break down for you the histogram. So you can see the total at the bottom. So you can see the total bid orders, the total ask, and then the delta between the two. So I believe this might be what you're looking for, the bid and ask. This is how you would add that in though, is in that column specifically. So somebody asked, my volume imprint charts are not displaying properly when it's split session mode. I'm looking at ES and using 930 for RTH. So are you using an @ES symbol? Not on the continuous. Okay, so if you're not using the continuous symbol, what I would do is make sure there's no discrepancy between the imprint study. So on the imprint, if I double click, you'll see that I can configure it to only look at RTH. I hit apply, update, and then if my charts are showing extended data, it will still, it can cause some issues with the way the information is displayed. So I wanna make sure that I'm also only showing RTH data as well, so that when the volume imprint's created, it only shows for the day, as you can see. So hopefully that helps. So yeah, so if you're looking at the @ES symbol, that's a continuous contract. That's gonna cause it, basically when anybody uses an @ES symbol, they're using a continuous contract. The continuous contract is not an exchange traded symbol. That symbol typically causes problems with the indicators because the information is going from a 24-hour period, so one 24-hour period to another, and the data will start at midnight, which shouldn't happen. So you'll see all your indicators starting at midnight, not at the proper RTH or extended trading hours open. So I would advise that using indicators in EdgeProX similar to the volume imprint or volume profile, I would recommend not using a continuous contract, and I would recommend not trading off those either, because they don't roll properly. They don't go all the way up until expiration. So my recommendation is not to use those @ES symbols. Or any of those continuous contract symbols. I would just rely on using the actual contracts, so ESU1, etc. And if you need to roll over, you just right click, roll to next contract, and then you can take all of your studies, move them right over to the next chart, and just boom. And then once I hit OK, it should roll me over to the next contract with all my studies, no problems. So that's what I would recommend doing for this. Hopefully that helps, adjust your, yeah, I would recommend using the SU1. So then there is no stop, run, or iceberg indicator. We get asked that all the time. That's not something that's in our platform specifically. And then let's see, what are the other questions here? All right, I'll be taking one or two more questions, and then I will cut this so we can just keep it to 30 minutes. Can you cut off bid or ask pulling to 5 levels and some for EI? So you can have it constrict to show only at certain levels. The way you would do that is just by going into the settings here, and then right now I have 1,000 rows, but if I wanted to, I can only show, let's say 6, and hit apply. It's only going to show 6. And then it calculates the same information, but based off the information you show in the DOM. So you can just do that by doing that there. I can go to 100 if I wanted to. Let's apply. Now you can see 100, and it adjusts everything here based on the information that I have displaying. I like showing most of the DOM, and that's also what we have it originally set to as well. All right. If there are no more questions, I hope I was able to help some people out today. We were able to answer a lot of questions, which is good. These will be on YouTube for people that wanna, if I was going really fast, I have a tendency to do that on accident. If I was going really fast or I breezed through something, these will be uploaded to YouTube. Just EdgeClear, go on YouTube, type in EdgeClear, you'll see me. Watch these videos, use these to help you learn the platform. And as always, if you have any questions, you can go to the support.edgeclear.com. You can email us, you can call in, whatever's the easiest for you. And for those people that don't have an account here, I'd love to be your broker, and I can definitely assist with getting this set up for you. Just let me know if there's anything I can do, and if there's any questions about what EdgeClear offers as a brokerage aside from the platform, you can email me directly. My email is giancarlo@edgeclear.com. So, and for those that don't know how to spell my name, I can go to the first slide, which is here. So you can email me here. This is my direct line as well. So thanks everybody for showing up, and thank you for spending the time with me. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and good luck trading.